Smooth.
Good evening. It's your host, DJ Legend.
And B Smooth.
And pretty much this Saturday, we have an artist with us today, animator, freelance artist, and mentor, Benjamin Reynolds, all the way from LA, California.
California. Guys, it's sunny out there, but I don't know about today.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a chance to kind of introduce yourself for all the new listeners on the East Coast, because they already know I'm on the West Coast.
Word. So my name is Ben Reynolds. I'm a 2D animator. So that specifically means I draw my animations, not much 3D. I've been drawing like my entire life, basically since I could pick up a pencil. I've been drawing. I've always been into animation. I've always known what I wanted to do, and I've pretty much been in pursuit of that my entire life. And I just recently got my first professional animation job, but I've been doing it, freelancing on the side and stuff for a long time.
Doing it for a long time and a lot of struggles.
Mad struggles.
And a lot of trials and tribulations.
Yeah. I remember back in the day for me, I used to draw, you know what I'm saying? But you took it to the next level, man.
Well, I used to draw, but I stopped drawing when I saw Ben's drawing.
Oh, well.
That's exactly what pretty much happened. So I just hung it up.
Well, you was drawing stick figures?
I was drawing cars.
I remember that.
Cars?
Like cars. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
That's how everybody starts with stick figures.
Like 9.6 Impalas, box cars. And then Ben drew this big poster for me. You know what? It was a lot of art that I asked Ben to draw, or that I would request for him to draw, that I'm sure was worth a lot of money that he drew for free. on the strength of it being me, that I know that if I were to pay for now, I probably would have to kick out a couple stacks for.
Yeah, he's a professional now.
Yeah, I don't draw for free anymore.
He doesn't do it for free
what it was for charity or donations?
I mean, pretty much if people follow his work, he's also behind Kira Slash. You know what I mean? Which I like is an animated series. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram. I watched it, and you're actually coming out with a second season for that, right?
Second episode.
Second episode?
Yeah.
When will that be?
Probably later on this year. I'm trying to finish it before the end of the year. I kind of got caught up because the workload from my new job kind of slowed me down. So I'm trying to get back on that and get on regular schedule on that.
Now, how is it being over in LA with the palm trees?
Warm outside.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Water, it's like a skies. 75 all the time.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
It's nice. It's like hoodie weather and basketball shorts like every day.
Now, how is the art scene over there based on the Baltimore art scene?
What's different is that everybody you meet is involved in the entertainment industry in some kind of way.
Right.
So even they might be producers, they might be in the film, everybody is in something. They might be trying to be an actress, actor, or whatever. And it's crazy how you just bump into people and they're like, yeah, I work for DreamWorks, and you're like, So everybody is involved in something. It's crazy, but it's cool because it's you with like-minded individuals who everybody's there for the same reason. Okay, now is there any artists that you work with? Do you have a team, a development team that you actually always work on or that you've been working on? Because I know, how you have a development team that you may work on with Maryland, or you may have certain artists that draw like you that you may work with here, and then by moving to LA, is there, I know with the Dropboxes and the Google Drive that you still can kind of still do work. It doesn't affect your workflow any bit, does it? Not too much. We use a lot of Skype. I had one more freelance thing I was doing back in Maryland. So we were already on Skype anyway. Right. So we just pretty much finished doing it the same way we were doing it, having Skype meetings and Dropbox and stuff like that. So pretty much you have to have a decent computer, preferably a
I want to say decent.
Something.
That has to be better than decent.
Man, I'm PC all day, man.
Ben's PC. See, I'm Apple. And that's all I'm going to say because they're not cutting that check today.
Yeah. I want to say that money.
That's all I'm going to say.
How much they pay?
They can cut a nice hefty check. And that's why I don't have an iPhone to this day until they cut that money.
You already know what kind of phone I got.
Yep, but we're not going to say that neither.
Nope. Maybe they'll hit us up. Until they start cutting some checks around here. We have to talk to them.
But I do know, so what are you working on recently? Are you working on anything that's not out there?
I got some things that's in development that I haven't actually, this just in my head right now.
Right.
And I'm trying to find the time to do it. I'm really focused on Chris Slash right now. I'm trying to bang that out and focus on that for right now. And then hopefully at some point I'll be able to mess with like the 20 other things I want to do.
Now, when you say 2D animation, can you elaborate on that for people that are so used to hearing 3D animation?
So 2D animation is mostly on paper where you actually physically drawing it.
Right.
Like it's a dude sitting in a chair with a stack of paper and you just drawing it all day. And then, the succession of drawings makes it look like it moves. Whereas 3D animation is almost entirely on a computer where you have like a puppet in the computer and you're moving the puppet around and stuff.
Right.
So I've dabbled in that, but I prefer 2D animation because I like to draw, and like it kind of drives me crazy to have to like you gotta mess with the bones and the hair and the cloth and all this madness doing the 3D. Where I'm like, man, I could just draw this and be done with it.
So I got a question for Mr. Ren. I want to know, when did you first realize that you can draw? Like on the level where somebody was like, man, that's pretty good, you should put that work out there.
The first person that pointed it out was my mother, and because as far as I knew, everybody was drawing. Like, when you're a little kid, everybody draws.
Right.
Yeah. So I drew. There was a show where like it was Yogi Bear, but he was like a kid and he had like a girlfriend. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
I don't even remember what the show was called.
I remember Yogi Bear.
But they had this thing where like they were reinventing all the cartoons and making them kids and stuff. So I drew Yogi Bear and his girlfriend, and then I showed it to my mother, and she was like, "You ain't draw that."
Right.
She was like, "Draw it again." So I drew it again.
It was so good she didn't believe it.
Yeah, I drew it like 3 times, and then I kept bringing it to her, and she was like, "I can't believe you drew that." She was like, "Did you trace this?" And she told me at the time I was so young that I asked her, "What does trace mean?" I didn't know what trace meant.
Right.
I was like, "What is trace?"
So he was just that good at that age.
To this day, she still has that drawing.
What is trace? You know what? You market that. Have it on a shirt, man.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of artists that are tracing, tattoo artists and whatnot.
Yeah.
Where they don't have that freehand skill like that, where they charge a lot for that, but they're still tracing. Because I heard it's better to learn how to freehand draw whenever it depends on any aspects of art goes. To at least know how to freehand draw, especially with the technology as far as the pads that you can draw into them.
Yeah.
Computer.
Take it back old school, man. Pen and pad, pencil and pad.
Graffiti is still an avenue of art. It just isn't really promoted like that. And they're freehanding with spray paint, which is very hard.
That's hard, man. I tried.
It's hard to do.
I had a spray paint phase. I couldn't do it. I was like, man, I'm stick to what I'm good at.
Yeah, the spray paint. Have you ever tagged anything?
No, I was trying.
We're not gonna give out locations. I'm just asking,
Please
have
don't.
you bombed anything?
No, I had a sticker phase where I was like slapping stickers up around the city and stuff. But
stickers with the like the U.S. mail stickers that you get for free.
You know what I'm talking about.
U.S. mail stickers.
Yeah, you
can go get a stack. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly. So you get a stack. You get a stack from the post office. You can draw your tag on it. So let's say you had B Smooth or Ben had BR, and you put that on there. You just stick them all over the place, on the bus stops. It's a safer avenue than going and get caught in an alley.
Yeah.
It is you can do it real quick. You can build your name up in your rep.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to do like no rooftop chase scenes or anything like that.
Rooftop chase scenes.
They ain't
where you have to roll over a car.
Yeah.
Security be after you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would just be on the light rail and just slap it up on the thing real quick.
Stick and move. Stick and move, literally. Stick and move.
Yeah, because that's funny. Imagine Ben running through over Ritchie Highway, 3-lane highway, Anne Arundel County counts chasing a bear. That is hilarious.
I see tags.
You fast? You fast? You can run fast?
I ain't that fast. I ain't fast enough to be leaping over buildings and rolling over overpasses and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in the art studio, professional. Not on these streets like that. Not on these streets at all like that.
You better take your pencil out and start drawing your way out.
So you said your mother was the first one to actually notice the spark of the talent. As far who else actually kind of did you let your art be shown to? Because like you may have your parents that actually know you're good, but you may not put your work out there yet.
Right.
You still kind of may sit on it and just be like, oh yeah, I know I'm good.
Right.
And then somebody else slips over your work or your music or anything and be like, hey, you gotta put this out. You have to join this gallery or anything like that. Did that happen to you?
I think eventually, like starting out when I was in elementary school, I would do drawings for people for like $0.25. Like they'd be like, draw me
$0.25.
Yeah. Like I thought
that was a lot of money. Man.
It's big time back then because you could get 4 quarters and go get like a milk or something. But they'd be like, draw me Leonardo, and I'll draw
4 quarters of the.
What can you get with $0.25?
Nothing.
You can get some.
What can
air.
you get with $1?
No, I think
nothing.
air costs 50 cents now, right?
Yeah, air costs 50 cents.
Yeah, for like your tire.
That's terrible.
You can't even get a stick of Winter Fresh. That's 35 cents.
Dang.
We used to be selling that in school. Winter Fresh.
I used to sell Bubblicious for 25 cents. That's what
I remember that.
That don't last.
And I made bread with that.
That's only flavor.
I made a killing. I bought like Grand Theft Auto with that.
Word.
And like a hell of little Debbie snacks.
That's what you were spending your money on. I was saving it.
Hey, I invested a lot of that into music, which is why I'm here today. But nevertheless, a quarter won't take you far nowadays. It won't.
Nah.
But I'm sure your work is now worth a lot more.
I guess so. You got a lot of it though.
Yeah, I do got a lot of it on the low. I do. But see, they say the work is more valuable when you're gone. So I won't ever really be able to cash out like that because Ben's gonna live longer than me. You know what I mean? Ben's gonna live way longer because Ben's never ages. He still looks young. Yeah. It was Ben that told me to look at your license picture at 18 and then look at your picture at 25. You'll see the difference. Like you're just not that happy. Well, you look stressed. Like the world has kind of came down.
Because when you're 18, you got that pure naivete. You know what I'm saying? You in the world. In school. You know what I'm saying? You see it as everything's all good. I just gotta work hard. And
well, see, the arts is similar to a lot of that, and music is actually very in common as far as how long you have to really be doing the legwork and the footwork until you're successful to your fans or people. And a lot of it's not seen with artists. So he can be in top tier studios. He could be working on cartoons and they don't see it yet, or they may not see it on TV back in the day, but now you can see it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Even so, they don't understand the work that goes behind it. They see the cartoon and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Finished product. That's all they see.
Because I got like I don't even want to say fans. I got a handful of followers, I guess.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
That's how it starts.
And they're like, yo, why is episode 2 taking so long? And I'm like, dude, I got like, number one, I got to make, like you making a film one frame at a time and you draw on the frames. So, but like after that, you got a job and you got like a real life and
right.
Just trying to maintain that. And then there's all this stuff that goes into it that's beyond the animation. So you got to, like, I got to do the music. I got to find people to do the music. I got to direct the voice actors. I got to maintain the website. I got to write the scripts. There's just so much stuff involved with it other than just the actual drawing aspect of it. And it's crazy to try to keep track of that. And then, like, you look up one day and you done spent like 2 years working on one thing. You're like, man.
You give me a call when it comes to that music, man.
It's crazy. Like, I wanted to ask you a question, because I was like, like, he's an artist and everything. So what was the cartoons you was looking up to or you took inspiration from?
Oh, man.
I guess we can go like 1 to 10.
Oh, man, 1 to 10. Okay. It's hard to... I'd have to count like,
you got
down
anime
from 1
and everything else, you know what I'm saying?
But Thundercats is like my number 1. That's like the template for what I'm trying to achieve in my life.
Thundercats, who don't remember that? Lion-O?
I don't know if you remember the intro to Thundercats.
Oh, I remember it.
But I probably look at that like once a week. I'm looking at that intro, like trying to decipher it and break it down and like reverse engineer what they did to make that show so hype. And
even the intro with the music was good.
Yeah.
Because nowadays you watch these cartoons, it'd be like, what?
Well, they don't have intros anymore. And
there's some lame cartoons out there. There's some funny ones still, but they're not as good as back in the day. They're not.
But there's some out there, but there's a lot of whack ones too, though. But
like Boondocks is off the chain.
That is my show, yo.
Boondocks is off the chain.
But I'm trying to get that feeling back where you wake up Saturday morning and you set your alarm for 6 a.m. and like you just ready for the whole day.
Got your cereal,
You're like, I got a list of shows I need to watch because they're not going to come on again.
That excitement.
So, it was like Thundercats, X-Men, man, Looney Tunes was a big influence.
I remember
that. Man, it's like so many shows. It's like I got a laundry list of shows, and then when you ask me,
in your eye, man.
Batman.
Yeah, Batman
series.
Yeah, Batman was a big deal.
Batman's always a big deal.
Like there's certain shows where like I saw it and it was a turning point where I was like, whoa, like like I just discovered something. I had an epiphany. There's a lot of anime too. There's one anime that came out that's not really for kids, but like it was a turning point in my life when I saw it. It's called Ninja Scroll.
Word.
Yeah. When I saw Ninja Scroll, I was like that. I was like, yo, like you could do anything you want in animation. Like there's nothing you can't do. And that was like when I was like, yo, I got to step my game up. Like I need to be on this.
There's more anime that's actually for adults than kids.
Yeah,
especially nowadays.
Yeah,
because a lot of adults don't take anime seriously because I guess it's a cartoon, but I mean, there's a lot of TV shows you shouldn't take seriously.
Right.
Like Ninja Scroll is definitely rated R. It is.
Yeah.
It is definitely rated. It's not for no kids.
And I saw that when I was real young. I was too young to have seen that, but I was like, yo. And I remember there's scenes in that where I had to run up and turn my volume down real quick.
Oh my gosh, you remember Ronin Warriors?
Oh yeah.
Yo.
That's another one.
People's heads are coming off in that, like decapitations.
Yeah. There's all kinds of ill stuff happening in that. And I rented that from Blockbuster, and like my mother is the one that
Blockbuster. Where's Blockbuster?
Yeah, that don't exist no more. That's
Blockbuster.
Nah, they don't exist anymore.
That's a lost
for
era.
all those that don't know what Blockbuster is. Blockbuster
put them up
is
to
a
speed,
video
please.
store back in the day that actually you could rent out tapes, and that you could take them home and you could view them, and you had to take them back and make sure
Take
they
your
were
girl,
rewound.
you know what I'm saying, for movie
You
night.
had to make sure
you know what I'm saying?
rewound,
Get the
and you got charged
popcorn.
per day for them.
Let her choose.
You got to buy popcorn, snacks, and Twitters. Well, not Twitter, but Skittles. My bad.
Skittles.
Sorry, y'all. But
Yeah,
I think due to Redbox, they took that over. They shut that whole operation down.
Oh
I think
yeah,
I should have invested money in that.
And salute the Redbox, by the way, because I got coupons for like a lot of free stuff through Redbox, where Blockbuster used to not want to give you anything free.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Redbox if y'all listening.
And cut that check. But they did used to let you rent out video game systems.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I remember that too, and that was the power move, especially when Nintendo 64 was out.
I think that was the first
64.
system, right? That they let you rent out.
You could rent out game systems, and there's nowhere where you can do that no more, is it?
Nah, you gotta buy them.
Them days are over.
Yeah.
Them days are over.
Damn.
You could rent out the whole system
Have a great weekend.
and just blast out. GoldenEye 007.
What? Mario Kart?
Yeah, I got a Nintendo 64 hooked up in my studio.
You got Nintendo.
Like, I gotta get games for it. I only got 2 games.
I still have a Sega Saturn. Thanks to my pops, I still have that because I think I still have my Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1,
Sega.
2,
Yo.
and 3.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
really don't get rid of them.
Yeah.
Like I still have Virtual Cop with like the guns and everything.
That's vicious.
True gamer over here. Find me on Sony PlayStation Network. Trail 100% Trail.
This guy.
my kill count on Call of Duty is off the chain. But I do know what were the other cartoons that
Yeah, 'cause you only
looked
named, like,
up
2.
to? Yeah, you gave us 2 or 3, I
Thundercats.
think.
Oh man. Okay.
Ninja Scroll. Thundercats Ninja Scroll.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I was about to
How
say,
could I forget
how
about
can you
Dragon
forget
Ball
Dragon
Z?
Ball Z, dude?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was a big deal, yo. That's like, even to this day, I'm still looking at Dragon Ball Z and like, yo, like
Goku.
nobody is topping Dragon Ball Z right now. They trying. There's some shows out coming out now where they're trying, but still, Dragon Ball Z is like the classic joint.
Oh, yeah, with Dragon Ball Z. Yo, I guess what got you hooked into Dragon Ball Z? What was the thing that was you just like, yo, that's my show?
Well, I saw it was like Saturday morning, and I saw a commercial for it. And the commercial I saw was for regular Dragon Ball. So I was like, that looks interesting. Let me check that out. But by the time I watched it, they had like switched to Z. So I had never seen anything like that where they were like.
And you elaborate on Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball.
So with Dragon Ball is the prequel to Dragon Ball Z. So Goku, the main character of Dragon Ball Z, he was a kid in Dragon Ball. And then Dragon Ball Z is when he becomes an adult and, gets mad powerful and they're having like power battles and
Destroying planets.
Yeah. And I had never seen anything like that before. Like as far as animation, like as epic as that is.
It don't get like that. Like
My man Vegeta,
yo,
like,
he was like the most developed character, yo.
Now
I was like, why is he so angry, man?
I just want to make an announcement. We have another co-host or guest that came into the studio today. His name is Abbas Sabor, and he is riding with us today. He's gonna just be chiming in. So don't call and ask him any specific questions.
You know, just
Don't put him on the spot. We're going to ease him into this process real nice and easy. Your mic is on. You can say what's up with your shout outs right now if you would like.
Okay, I'd just like to just give a shout out to all the party people in Baltimore. I live in Atlanta, Georgia at this time.
ATL
now.
shouted.
ATL, so I give a shout out to all my peoples back home. But I'm just going to be just interjecting here and there whenever I feel the need to or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what's up.
Real low key, real professional, because that's how we do it up
Keep
here
it
at
smooth.
Legendary
Keep
Radio.
it be smooth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
But back to the matter at hand with Ben and these cartoons. You can't forget about the Superman cartoons
Yeah.
with Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Or I think you did say X-Men, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he said X-Men.
X-Men. That's a big
Magneto.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Apocalypse, man.
Because I was really into like early on I was really into Looney Tunes type stuff, like really
Right.
cartoony stuff. But then I had a change where action cartoons was it. Even now, that's what I'm about is action cartoons.
The Looney Tunes
And
was kind of innocent. That was like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
innocent phase.
And then
You grew up.
like switch it to the action cartoons. It seems like the '90s, like all the best action cartoons came out then.
Right.
And
Did we forget about Voltron? What about Voltron? You didn't like Voltron like that?
I think I couldn't. I think it came on the same time as something else that I had to watch because you back then you had a schedule.
True.
They didn't have reruns for like the Saturday morning cartoons. So if you were trying to catch that new X-Men episode, you had to watch it then. Like you couldn't miss that.
That was hot. You hot when you miss it,
'Cause
boy.
they weren't
You
gonna
got-
show it again.
That's how it used to be, where it was so many cartoons you had to really pick one or the other.
Yeah, I had a list, man. I had an agenda for the day where I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on Channel 5 until about 10 o'clock. Then I gotta switch to Channel 2 because they're gonna show this one show, and keep going until noon. And then they start showing golf and stuff, and you go outside and play.
Dang, man. What was the other
Man, be
cartoons?
smooth. He took it back with that Voltron.
Everybody collected the
I used
toys.
to form Blazing Sword. He used to form that Blazing Sword like every time. You knew it was over
You already
right
knew what
there.
time it was.
And I'll form the head.
Yo.
Now I know you watch Bleach, right?
Man, I haven't. I've only watched like 4 episodes of Bleach. I have
That's
not.
it?
Yeah.
Bleach is never ending.
I know.
It never ends.
How many episodes is it now?
Maybe like 384, maybe
Yeah, yeah.
500 episodes, and
Because I had other shows I was watching, so I couldn't. Like, I still haven't had an opportunity to like sit down and commit to it. So one day I'm gonna sit down and watch it because everybody keeps telling me about Bleach, but I still haven't had a chance to like.
it's dope.
Sit
It's
down.
dope. It just takes forever.
And I'm kind of intimidated by like the number of episodes. Like it's like over 400. I think it's
It
like
is.
a lot.
Like, I know there is at least 11 seasons, maybe 12 seasons of the show, and they're
Yeah.
long. They're not even like 20-minute shows. They're like maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes a piece. But it will get you hooked. But then it's like, can y'all hurry up and save her, please? Because it never closes. Like I know you had what was that? High School Dead. High
School of the Dead?
Yeah, that at least there was a closing of a story. It was
Yeah, yeah.
over. Demon King, over. Bleach is like never ending. Like you'll probably just stop watching it.
Uh-huh.
But it's a great show, and the animation in it is very dope.
Word.
Same like that Black Dynamite cartoon.
Man, I've only seen like a couple episodes of that too.
That is
there's
funny.
a bunch of stuff that came out recently that I still haven't seen yet. Just
That is
because
hilarious.
schedules, and I gotta pick one show at a time where I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the show I watch.
There's too many. There's a lot of episodes, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even know. You can't even watch them all in one day.
Yeah.
Now I did want to touch base on you being the winner for the So For Real Film Festival. Can you go and explain in detail how that even come about?
Well, I was the I think I was the best local film, but I was also the only local film, so that worked out for me. But I think they're taking entries for that right now for the 2016 one, I think right now, but I don't have anything out yet.
You
But
sure you was the only one? I thought it was like a couple.
I think I
pretty
was
sure.
the only one.
I'm
I don't know.
pretty
Maybe
sure.
there was somebody else. I don't know.
I think it was a couple and you just beat him out because that's
Yeah.
how dope
I like
your
to
work
I like
is.
to think that.
So-
They just didn't pay him no
But-
So
mind.
he didn't win on default.
He didn't win. He didn't win on
It was
default. He
Benjamin
won
and
because
no one else.
he won because he was the best.
But they show
category.
episode 1 of Slash, and it like stop. I don't know if you've seen it. It stops in the middle of the fight scene. Then it says like to be continued.
Right.
And the whole audience was like, oh. But
That's how I was too.
That's how you got to do it. Oh, you took him from back in the day.
so I was like, okay, that means I'm doing something good because
You leave 'em in all
they're mad that
suspense.
they're mad that it's not finished. So.
I remember I sent you an email and was like, well, where are you coming out with more of them? Because the story starts getting good.
Yeah.
It starts getting real good. It is not like a long, drawn out story.
Yeah.
It like kind of gets pretty much to the point really quickly. And it's like, okay, it's getting real.
Yeah, and that cartoon is like my love letter to like every action cartoon I used to watch growing up and stuff. So like, it's
I think the
it's
dude
Dragon Ball
Reggie-
Z is in. If you look, you can see Dragon Ball Z in there. At least on the next episode, You can see Ninja Scroll. If you know your Ninja Scroll, you can see the little references and stuff in there. Thundercats. You know, I'm always drawing people with swords. Every character I draw has a sword. It's always somebody with a big sword or something like that.
There's always somebody with a sword.
What is it about the sword? Is it the more that goes into it? You know, does it represent something?
You can't be
swords
a ninja,
are just cool. Like,
you can't be a ninja or like a dope ninja without a sword.
Like when I was a kid, you go outside and you find a big stick that's shaped like a sword. You put it
playing with
put it down the back of your shirt. And you run around like that's your sword and stuff. So I don't know, something about swords.
Because so far, how you name Ninja Scroll, Dragon Ball Z, X-Men. What else?
Trying to think. When I was in college, there's a show called Teen Titans. I don't know if you've seen that.
That's still out.
They got the new one. They got the newer
I don't
one.
like the new one.
I like the action one. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the old one.
Because what they would do is like it was like a kid's show, but then the action scenes were like super elaborate, like off the chain. And I was like, man. And that was a big influence. I think I started. That was like one of the last shows I like set my alarm to wake up to watch. And that was when I was in college. We was watching the Batman, the one where it kind of looked like anime.
It's the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman.
The Batman. Say it again, B.
It's the Batman.
It's the Batman.
That's how the Joker was. You know what I'm saying? Because you know when Batman show up, you already know what time it is.
But you know which one I'm talking about? The one where he was younger.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like he wasn't as smooth as he is in the other one, so he like tried to go hand to hand fighting everybody and stuff.
Right.
So that was the ill one.
So I mean, was that a moment that you considered like personal success as far as you and your career was going, or was you fine with your career going in that direction? Whereas like you win the film fest not only because you was one, but you actually submitted work.
It let me know, because it's like when you're making the cartoons, it's basically you just alone in a room like for months making this thing, so you kind of have no idea if it's still good. Like I write the script and it's good when I write it, but then it takes so long. It's such a slow process that after a while you become numb and you're like, well, I guess this is probably still good. And it's cool to get like affirmation, to know people like think the jokes that are supposed to be funny are funny, and the parts that are supposed to be tight, they think they're tight. So it definitely you're like, it lets you know that you're in the right direction as far as what you're doing and stuff. And you're like, people are into the same kind of things I'm into too also. So
now, are there any specific artists that you admire, that you look up to?
Oh man, there's a lot.
Just keep it at 5. Let's just keep it at 5 right now.
Keep it at 5. We can keep it at
I mean, we got time. We got time. You know what I'm saying?
There's like artists,
other stuff we want to talk about.
There's artists and animators. I think one of my favorite animators. There was a time when like you had to be able to draw. Like they had a real emphasis on not just being able to draw, but you had to be vicious to be an animator. Okay. And it's kind of not the same. Like it's not like that now with the advent of like being able to have the stuff in your computer and being able to work in Flash and stuff like that.
Right.
So there's a dude, his name is Richard Williams. He is probably like the last living, he's an old man now, but he is doing stuff now in his old age that like shouldn't be possible with hand-drawn stuff, where he's like, there's, because you're drawing it, there's limitations to it. And this dude doesn't see the limitations. He's just like, if you got limitations, you're not working hard enough. And he is like unreal level talent. Like this dude is so vicious. Let me think, who else? Bruce Timm. He's the character designer for the original Batman the Animated Series. He was the first.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
So he was the first one to start drawing all the characters like super angular. He gave Batman the square chin, and he was a big influence on the way I draw. Akira Toriyama.
Oh, I'm about to say, I knew he was about to get into him.
Yeah. The guy that drew the original Dragon Ball Z manga.
Now this guy Bruce Timm, he does a lot of drawing for Marvel too.
Yeah, well, you know what he's been doing recently. How there's
that's DC, right? Batman's DC.
Yeah, Batman's DC.
Yeah, Batman's DC.
But he's been directing a lot of those straight to video, like Justice League and Batman movies.
Yeah,
he's been executive producing them and stuff. Like that's all. Like he spent a long time just doing that. So all those vicious movies where it's just like Under the Red Hood and
I seen that.
There's like a couple Justice League movies. There's a bunch of my stuff I haven't seen yet.
Batman by far has the worst villains ever.
Yeah.
The worst. The Joker? Who don't like the Joker though?
No, I'm saying the most difficult ones to work with. Like Superman is different. Your villains actually make sense and they're logical, and their purpose. Actually, there is a purpose behind why they're trying to destroy your planet or whatever it may be. Granted, okay, you may have Apocalypse or somebody, or General Zod, where he comes down and be like, hey, I'm just going to kill everybody on the world if you don't give me what I want. But Joker do stuff like, he'll rob everybody. He'll threaten to burn down a school.
He
blow up
slides
a
down
hospital.
a pile of money. Just burns it.
Just because.
Kill 20 people to rob a bank full of money and then burn the money.
But he's a psychopath. It don't have to make sense to you.
I was just about to say he's crazy.
That's all I'm
There's
saying.
no rhyme or reason to why he do that.
Yeah.
That's what makes him the Joker.
Every villain is crazy. Like if you play Arkham Asylum, you're like, man, everybody's crazy in this video game. And it starts spooking you out when you play. Like, why am I even trying to solve these murders or detect? Like when you're walking around the asylum, you played that game, right, man?
Yeah, I haven't played them all the way through, but I played them. I played like everyone.
Did you play the part where you was in the morgue?
I don't think so.
And it was like all the dead bodies?
No, I ain't
You started getting spooked out. You started hallucinating because one of those crazy villains, they was able to kind of like have some type of potion to make you hallucinate of your
Sounds
own
like
death.
Scarecrow.
It was him. It was. I was getting creeped out for real. I was like, I went into this room. I was like, wait, I've already just went into this room. And you kept going into this room full of dead bodies. I'm like, the creators of these games be on some stuff too. Like they.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, they're taking some snippets from Resident Evil or something from back in the day on PlayStation.
Word.
I remember Resident Evil
Because that game was scary. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah.
Now, does your animation roll over into video games too at any point?
As of right now, like I got a few programs on my computer. I'm trying to get into video games, but it's like animation by itself is already really hard. Making video games is like 4 times harder than that because it's crazy. It's insane. I don't understand how people make these games. Like I'm trying to make like simple like Nintendo looking games, and it's like mad complicated.
And people be mad
I don't understand how like you make Call of Duty or something where like there's online and all this stuff, and I'm just trying to figure out how to make it so the doors work when you walk into the room and stuff. So I'm trying to figure that out, but it's like it's so involved. I got to take my time and sort of learn that too.
And what about with games such as like The Walking Dead, where it was like a lot of animation? There was a lot of animation in that video game where it wasn't as much like 3D as The Last of Us would be.
That's a little bit easier because it's less. It's more story driven,
right?
And it's more like sort of like pick the right thing to say. But then you still got to make like all the different choices. Like if somebody decides they're not going to do something, you got to do that entire thing. And if they decide they're going to do something else, you got to do that entire thing. And it's just so much more work, like than just having like a film that plays and then, the player interaction is what makes it difficult. You got to have, you got to be prepared for like every instance. So like, what if the player decides not to do this? What happens if he doesn't unlock the door? What's going to happen when he tries the door and it doesn't unlock and he has to get the key? How do you make the key work for the door? And how do you make it so that when he touches the key, he has the key and then it'll work? It's just so much stuff involved with it. That's kind of over my head still.
Heavy Rain was a good game.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was an ill game.
And there was a lot of decision making where me, you, and B Smooth, we could play that game and all have 3 different endings.
Right.
Depending on the decisions that you made.
Yo, I don't know about y'all, but the game that I remember right now I'm thinking about, probably with a lot of art and animation, especially with the mythology, God of War.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God of War.
Yeah.
When I played that game for the first time, I said, "Yo, this is my game here." Yo, this dude, he didn't have a sword, no shield. He had what was his weapon?
Like 2. He had like
daggers
2
that
swords
could extend
with chains on them.
Like,
yeah.
Who came up with that idea? Like,
because what's crazy about that, anybody could be like, yeah, I want to have like the dude, I want a sword to do this, but you got to make it. Like, you got to make it so it does it. So.
Yeah, and it was intricate to the game because, if you had to climb a wall, you know what I'm saying, certain enemies you were fighting, you can jump off the ogre's head or something like that and still chain the combo. I'm like, they were on some other stuff with that video game. And like I said, the whole mythology with Zeus and all them, like, because a lot of people, they just know like the main character, Zeus, Ares, God of War, whatever, but you get a side story that leads to everything else that connects, and it's just like, dang, like, when it comes to, like, the art behind that,
yeah, the art is ridiculous.
Sick.
Like, sometimes I'll be playing a game and I get distracted because I'm like, you know how you could just take a second and look around.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, somebody had to make this car. Like somebody had the one car sitting on the street in the game in the background. Some dude had to make that car and decide what color it is and what's it going to say on the license plate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get mad distracted playing video games.
And they don't see like the behind the scenes, what goes into that, man. Like the people that you got to talk to, the hours of, this person complain about this. I want it this way. Like it's a lot of egos, especially with art.
Yeah.
Whose art is better, you know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine.
That's why when I see you do a lot of your stuff, I look on your YouTube channel, I be like, man, it's amazing that you can create like a cartoon, like a motion cartoon, or even a fight scene. If you think about what you could have done 10 years ago, or what you were allowed to do 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Or even 10 years ago. Because you remember the struggle with the computers. That was real.
Yeah.
If you can't get these computers now, they come out with like 8 gigs of RAM off the break, some of them, or maybe 10 gigs.
Yeah, computers are crazy now because I got a custom build that I put a lot of money into, and now you can just go to Best Buy and get a computer that's twice as good as mine.
Right.
Like for like cheap. And I'm mad. I'm like, man.
You remember me at Circuit City trying to make it work.
Yeah.
I was struggling to make it work. I was buying RAM sticks at like $80 a pop.
Because you basically got an animation studio in a box if you got a computer, which is what's crazy.
So I'm trying to, so what about the cartoons we're not really mentioning that you would know, before our time?
I was just about to mention that, but I had a question for Benjamin.
Okay.
I wanted to know from your personal standpoint, do they allow you creative expression, basically, as composed to if you did it personally at home as compared to at work? Do you have freedom of creativity?
I do, but there's still a lot of compromise. So for my job, I'm lucky in the sense, like, this never happens, where usually if you get your first animation job, you already working on somebody else's show, and they already have a style established. There's already like, this is the character, this is how he's supposed to look. You got to draw the way we draw.
Right.
I'm fortunate in my situation where they specifically picked my art style, so I get to decide how it looks. So when we get more employees, they got to draw like how I draw. And that never happens. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that I was able to get into that kind of situation.
That sounds dope, though, to go up to people and be like, look, you got to draw like me.
Yeah.
And if you can't draw like me,
you got to get out of here.
The job.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
that's very boss, Ben.
I was about to say that boss.
It's very boss-like.
But at the same time, so I got a lot of freedom as far as the visual aspects, but I still got to make a lot of compromises with things that I would do personally, or like if I decide, we don't need this scene, we could just cut this out. And my boss is like, nah, you got to keep that scene in, and I got to keep it in. I can't. Like I can try to argue my case, but because it's a team environment, it's kind of like one band, one sound kind of thing. You gotta take your ego out of it and just sort of see the bigger picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to learn that when you've been working on your own stuff for so long.
Right.
But I'm adjusting to it. It's been a learning experience in itself.
I was gonna ask. I'm sure it's hard to maintain both, where you have to kind of 1 minute you have to kind of go along with the program, and the next minute you have free range to create whatever you want and how exactly you want.
Yeah.
I know that both takes a lot of time. How do you manage both?
So far, I'm trying to figure that out, because I've been doing my job. Like I thought I drew a lot. I thought I was working a lot before I got this job, because I was doing my own thing and I was freelancing, and I would have a full-time job that wasn't an animation job.
Right.
So I figured out, I was pretty seasoned as far as the workload. When I got this job, I'm like basically drawing 8 hours straight all day, like with a little bit of computer stuff in between. So I was like, man, when I get home, I'm not drawing nothing.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out how to not burn myself out at work, so I can still have time and like energy left to give to my own stuff.
Right.
Because it's hard. Like it's real demanding. Both are demanding. So it is hard to like work 8 hours a day and then come home and then work again for like another 8 hours. You know what I mean?
The good thing is at least you have a career, and like I said, career in something that you actually are passionate about doing.
Yep.
To where at least it doesn't feel like work or doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah.
You actually can say, hey, how do you make your money? I draw for a living.
Yeah.
You'll be like, what?
You draw for a living. Yeah, I draw.
Yeah.
What kind of draw? Cartoons, explosions, decapitations, things that blow up.
Things that blow up. I like that one.
People want to. How do I get your job? It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And you got to draw like me. If you can't draw,
then you got to go.
Man, that's gangster. Like, you should actually put that on a shirt. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we got to start talking about.
Like, draw like me or get like me.
Right.
Something like that. Because if they
what
can't...
is Trace?
What is Trace? I like that. I'm going to do that.
If they can't draw like you, they really can't get the job, especially if you already came up with the whole concept for the cartoon, because they're giving you that much control.
Yeah.
You know what I like, though? His cartoon, female.
Oh, yeah, female.
Shout out to the females out there, man, because, I mean, it's always about males, and it's not always about us. You know what I'm saying? We need y'all help, too.
Well, you know what's crazy about that? It's like I draw a lot of girls, and I didn't realize it. But when I was in high school, I had a homie that he would draw, too, and we would battle. And I would try to draw girls, and I was really bad at drawing girls back then, like in high school.
Right.
So I spent like years trying to figure out how to draw girls, and I'm at the point now where that's like the easier. I'm better at designing girls now than I am at designing dudes. It's just like a side effect of
you see more women.
Yeah, that too.
Hang on.
And he went to LA.
Spent a lot of time studying.
Because I want to ask him.
He spent a lot of time.
Because you know when you're studying to draw, you know what I'm saying, you get the physical specimens come in. So have you ever been in that room where you had the female come in, you know, you got to draw her when she take her clothes off?
Oh,
you know
Definitely.
I was worried. I was like, yo, where do you go for that? I might want to start drawing again. You know what I'm saying?
Man, when I was in college, we had like some models that came in like that were like hired by the school. Because the thing about that is there's dudes that come in too.
I don't want to draw.
Yeah, I don't want to draw.
And we started complaining about it. So she was like, well, I got my own models that I use for my personal art that I could start bringing in. And she brought in like professional models, like ladies and stuff. And we were like, dang.
So did you get a chance to be like, you, no.
Well, no, what happens is because you, like, it's for class that you draw, and what happens is it's so technical trying to draw from real life that you so distracted trying to draw the picture right that after a while you're not even paying attention to the fact that they're naked and that they look good.
In cases
crazy.
like Melissa Ford or somebody, right?
Yeah. I mean, depending. Now, when you get a break for the class, you might go over there and be like, yeah, so why don't you take a look at this picture I drew you? What do you think of that? But
Yeah, because I already seen you naked.
I mean, yeah.
I'm already in there, technically. I didn't just immortalize you.
I mean, how do we get down this road?
How do we get down this road?
Hey, man. I mean, I'm a man.
All art. It's all art.
Women is art. That is art.
Women is art.
It's like anatomy and perspective.
What do we talk about most of the time?
They don't call them be smooth for nothing. Huh?
What do we talk about majority of the time?
They definitely don't.
I had to sneak women up in here, you know what I'm saying? Give a shout out, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all all art for real. It's beautiful to be able to see y'all just move.
And while we making shout outs right now, I would like to definitely sponsor Unique Gifts. Right now, they're doing a sale right now, 50% off sale. You can go to uniquegifts.com. You can purchase anything holistic, natural soap, shea butter, all that stuff. I would like to give definitely a shout out to Eartha Harris. You could tune into her on Mondays on Tight Knit Radio. I would definitely like to shout out myself. You can catch me at DJ410 on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever you want, and be smooth. Everybody in here with me today. We will shout out more, but we need that money first. Yeah. We definitely need that money first to give you more shout outs, but we definitely don't mind showing you love. Shout out to Spalding Enterprise. Shout out to Cheese off of Park Heights. I'm going to see you up in the studio real soon.
Was it a shout out to A&K LLC?
Yep. Shout out to Nicole Player if she's listening. Shout out to all the listeners. My little man Jordan, they be holding it down. Young Jordan. And we're going to keep it going with the interview. We're going to keep proceeding with the interview. Definitely. So, Ben, when was there a time where you felt a setback in your career?
Man,
where
do I start?
Because the struggle is definitely real.
It's a struggle,
the stumbling blocks, man.
No, when I would say my previous job, the one I had before this one, it was like I got laid off. I worked at a driving school and I got laid off, and this was like the week, maybe the same week I had just moved into a new apartment.
Right.
And I think I was unemployed for a little while, and I got a job working in a printing facility for a newspaper, and that job is like straight out of high school type, bottom of the barrel. Like not to insult anybody doing that, but like I was real blown about that situation because when I first started there, I was literally like they would print the newspapers, and my job was to take the bundles of newspapers and stack them. and that's all I did all night. Just stack the newspapers on like a plat thing, and like you make one stack, and the dude takes it away. You keep stacking all night continuously, and they're like, it's like you be like, man, I'm tired. Can we get a lunch break? And they're like, lunch? What you talking about lunch? Work? Yeah, get back to work. Get back to work.
They cracking that whip,
cracking that real whip.
Cracking that real
whip. I was so blown about that situation because I was like, man, I've been drawing my entire life. I survived college. I put myself in debt going to college just to end up in this position where I could have got out of high school.
Right.
And I was real. I think like the first year I worked there, I was real blown about that. And I reached the point where the job, like what happened was the job got so bad that I was like, I have to get out of here. Like there's no way I'm gonna be in here for like 10 years. And what I realized is like that job was real demanding. And my conclusion was this: I was like, why am I gonna? Because you think about it, if you got a job you don't like, you set your alarm, right? And you wake up. And you are dedicated to this job. If you set your alarm, you go there, you show up on time, you do it the full 8 hours, right. You come home and do it again, you are dedicating your time to something you don't like. So I was like, why wouldn't I dedicate that same amount of effort to something I do like?
And you'll be successful doing that.
So I started, just doing what I wanted to do on the side. So I said, like, because I was doing comics for a long time. I always say I'm an animator that does comics. I'm not a comic book artist.
Right.
And I was kind of focused on comics because that seemed like it was something that could sell money. But then I realized I had a vacation and stuff, and I was going to try to draw this comic. And I was like, you know what? I don't really like drawing comics. I was like, I like doing animation. Why am I not doing animation? And it's crazy how simple it can be. Like, it's hard to realize that where it's as simple as just doing what you like to do.
Exactly.
And so I was like, I like doing animation. So why am I going to put this much effort into this job? I can't stand being in there and then come home and not put the same amount of effort into something I love doing. So that's what I started doing. So that was a night job. So what I would do is like anytime I had a long weekend, also I had to work Sundays, but I would have Mondays off. So like that Saturday nights and like between Sunday and Monday night, I would just stay up and try to do a full 8 hours of animation. Right. Like whenever I had free time. And I would also do that and like try to juggle having like a life and like, I'm married. So, I gotta, show my wife.
Shout out to Miss Reynolds. I'm sure she's listening.
Yeah. Shout out to the wife. She hung in there. She understood. I think it's important if you with a partner, you got to be with somebody who understands that too, where you like, I have to go in this room and draw. Like, please, like you can't compete with the art. If This is something I always used to say, not to my wife specifically, but like you can't. When you are an artist, you are in a relationship. It's like having a woman. Right. It's like if you have another woman, like an actual woman, you in a polyamorous relationship, but it's like you cannot compete with the art because that's something that's always going to be there. You can't. Like if there's a competition between the woman and the art, you're not going to win. At the end of the day.
No, he's definitely right.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to be with somebody who understood that because she's doing the exact same thing. Right. She got the same policy. She's like, if you can't understand art, you can't. You know what I mean? So
that's real gangster, man. You remind me of Godfather when he said, both of our ships must be selling in the same direction, or you be like, I need a stone I have to have removed. That's tight.
I mean, that's very good. I like the fact that you said you just went ahead and did what made you happy. A lot of people don't. Like I said, I used to do property management, and I used to calculate income all the time. And I think I came to the conclusion that you have 2,080 full-time hours in a year, and you wait for a 40 to 80 hour vacation if you get that. Right. So that return is like less than like 3%. It's less than 3% of the time you invest it.
Right.
And like you said, every day you go to work, you work for somebody else's mission statement or towards their mission statement, and you're not doing anything for yourself. If you were to take that same 2,080 hours and do it to what you wanted to do, you would be successful at it.
Right.
But a lot of people get that opportunity to do things themselves, and they don't give the same time or energy or amount the same hours that you would do your job.
Yeah.
So then you end up reverting back to work. So it's almost like you have to really pursue what you want to do, and you have to really treat it with just the same amount of respect as you would your job.
Yeah.
Same with music, art, career, because it takes a lot of time.
That applies to everything.
You just can't hop online and think instant success. Like you said, you've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So now that you are in LA and you got the cartoons and you do have enough pull to say, hey, you have to draw like me, rather me learning how to draw like other artists. That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, and I thought about like it's 2015, so I graduated in 05.
Right.
So that means it took me 10 years to get my first real animation job. And it's like are you dedicated enough to stick it out for 10 years to get to accomplish your dream?
Not most people.
No, not most people.
And having like terrible jobs and having plans that you think are going to work not work. You know what I mean? And,
what happened? When you have an entrepreneur, you have a boss, or anybody with a boss mentality, and they're working a job. A lot of physical repercussions come from that. Because like for instance, you may own your own company and you may draw the way you want, but you're working for somebody that's telling you what to do consistently.
Yeah.
So there's always tension. Like when I'm working, depending on what jobs that I used to work, there's always conflict with a manager or a supervisor. It's because you're trying to delegate me, and I'm used to delegating others. And it's always going to be a conflict to a degree. Like you said, sometimes you got to know when to just kind of humble out and just go along.
Yeah.
But for instance, there's going to come a time where, like for example, you said you just got into being able to say, hey, you have to draw like me, otherwise the cartoon's not coming out, or you're not hired.
Right.
Imagine doing that for 10, 15 years.
Right. Yeah.
And then trying to have somebody tell you how to draw. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, do you know who I am? I might slap you right now. You don't get out my building, office, facility. Brandon, get rid of this parking pass. Take yourself and get out of here. It's very hard. Like a lot of people don't realize who they're talking to.
Who are you?
Because, like you said, well, I'm an artist. I've been doing this for this year, but I'm at this job.
Right.
So you're treating me like I'm beneath the artist that I am, which they don't even know you do an artist.
Yeah, right.
They don't even know you're an artist at this point.
And what's crazy is like I knew people at that same job where I knew one dude who was an artist and other people who were in the music and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'd be like, what are you doing when you're not here? And they're just like, and they say, like, I understand they said they have kids and stuff, but I'm like, my rationale was to at least try. Cause I like through that first year when I was like depressed about it, I sort of convinced myself, like, I think you put in mental blockers and stuff. You convince yourself that you can't do something. And I was pretty convinced that, animation is so time consuming. I convinced myself that it wasn't really possible to do it by yourself. So I did a lot of comics and stuff. Okay. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try. And I'd be at work stacking the papers, and I have like the first season of Slash in my head. And I was like, I'll try. I was like, I'll see if I can do it. And then if I can't do it, then I'll try something else. And then like as soon as I started doing that, that's when stuff started working. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, because I know there's a lot of people that I've seen them. They'll have great ideas, or they may even be talented. They're working these jobs. You know, like, hey, have you ever thought about pursuing that? And they'd be like, no.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know how many people I know who draw better than me? Like, I get so mad when I see people who are nicer than me, and they're just like, you know.
And sometimes it is a gamble, but like you said, sometimes it's really not that much of a gamble, especially if you have the extra time, because you fill up your extra personal time with something.
Yeah,
look, man, like I said, it comes down to this. Like you said, you're here because of what? You wanted it more than the others.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they make excuses. Well, what did we talk about like last
Either
week?
You making money or you making excuses.
There's a lot of people that have the talent, but like I said, if you're not willing to work for it, like, for example, if I got to tell you to do it, then you ain't going to make it. Nobody's got to tell you to do it.
Yeah, right.
That's why you here. That's why you in California, you know what I'm saying? You got your own thing, doing your own thing.
Palm trees.
I think another thing people get focused on is like, they're like, I need to do something to make money. Right. And I'm like, you got to take the money out the equation. You just got to do what you like to do. The money will come if you do it.
Because you're going to spend more money than you make in the beginning.
Because the result of me working on my own thing is that I put it out there and I can't work on the next episode because I got so much freelance coming from that. They saw that. They saw episode 1 of Slash, and they're like, yo, I want you to make me something that looks like that. Here's some money. And, it's like it comes down to just doing it because you like to do it, pursuing your own interests and what you're passionate about.
So I've already named, well, we actually talked about, how many cartoons and stuff that you named. So you got 4 more.
Oh,
Ninja
man.
Scroll, Dragon Ball Z, X-Men, Teen Titan, Batman, Voltron, and then name the best or the one that changed the genres to you.
Oh man, okay.
What cartoon did you see where you definitely was like, I got to get involved in this?
Man, that's hard because I already named a bunch.
Yeah, Ninja Scroll, Dragon Ball Z, X-Men, Teen Titan, Batman, Voltron.
Well, there was a show. I'm getting obscure. There's a show that came. What is that show called? There was a show about this lady who had like escaped this lab, and her brother had got turned to a panther. And like every week she would. What is that show called? It was called Cyber 6, I think. And it was like a French production.
Okay.
And I remember that show looked like, you know how like if you look at a movie, like an animated movie, it's higher quality than like a TV show, because TV shows have like stricter schedules and stuff. Yeah. So they just crank the animation out. Whereas movies, they have time to make it look really good. That was like one of the first shows where I was like, yo, every episode of this show looks like a movie. It's mad obscure. I think you could probably find it on YouTube or something.
So I'm about to say, that's a French cartoon? You saw that when?
Well, it was French, but they like, it was American. Like they showed it on American TV, but I did the research and found out that it was like I think it was a French production. If I'm wrong, I guess somebody can correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was a French production.
Now, Ben, what will be your dream project?
Dream project?
Like if you had the money, the back end, the offices, you can bring in your own team, the right people to create the dopest animation.
My dream project, I got an idea for this superhero cartoon, which is actually, I'm probably never going to be able to make this until at least like a couple years from now, but it's the background of my phone right now. That's
dope.
Okay.
It's an idea for a superhero show that I have that, I don't know if you can see it now.
I like that.
I do too.
But it's, how do I explain it? It's sort of,
Be Smooth is a girl.
Yeah, I mean, black girl, blue eyes. You know, blue hair.
Well, yeah. Because like there was a time where like superheroes.
I'm like wow.
There was a time like, you know, before we got all the movies and stuff.
Right there, B?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of matches out there I'm looking for, but you know what I'm saying? She's a candidate.
Well, actually, this is a character I designed in high school, and then like I updated the design and stuff.
Okay.
But there was a time before like the movies and stuff where superheroes stopped being hot. Like everybody was like, no more superhero comics. We want comics about real life or something that's not about superheroes. So I was like, yo, superheroes. I was like, you know, like I said, this is before like we got all like the Marvel movies and Avengers and all that stuff became a thing. So I was like, you know, what if somebody did a superhero cartoon that was like Dragon Ball Z, like but with superheroes and stuff. So that's sort of like the influence of it, without going into too much detail, because if I tell you about it, you know, somebody's gonna steal my idea.
Yeah, we're
not
trying to do that.
And I don't know how, like, I'm imagining I'll be like much more experienced by the time I get to that. So Kerslash is sort of like the thing that I'm using as like my test run to cut my teeth and learn enough to be able to do this thing.
Okay.
So eventually, like I said, you get a chance to do a movie. Maybe I can, you know, certain people be in there with their voices, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I fantasize about a Kerslash movie, but I'm like, I gotta finish episode 2 first before I guess.
Who would you get to play her though? If you could choose a Hollywood actress or something?
I don't even know. That would be hard. We would have to have like a casting call, and that would be a hard decision.
What about what was it? The girl from what is her name? You know,
because actually with the voice actor, we had a hard time. Me and my wife had a hard time picking the voice actor for her. We had.
So I'm about to say Zoe Saldana or something, or I don't know.
Probably somebody younger.
Somebody younger.
Play it younger.
Or Kiki Palmer or something.
I don't even know. I probably have like an unknown or something.
Well, that's probably better.
Somebody who could do like the kung fu parts and stuff like that.
All right.
You got to be able to like flip and roll and stuff. So my Facebook. Actually, Kerslash has a website. It's kerslash.com.
Okay.
And it has a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Kerslash, I think. And I'm also on Instagram as Budafist, @Budafist.
Right, and that's about wrapping up our show today.
That's wrapping it up. It was a good show.
It was a great show. And like I said, next week you'll hear us, me, DJ Legend, Be Smooth. You'll definitely hear us again 1 to 2 every Saturday. It's a pleasure having you out, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're going to see you again.
Yeah,
definitely.
You're going to get some of that music ironed out. You're going to get some of that voiceover work ironed out. But like I said, tune in to Legendary Radio next week from 1 to 2. You can follow us at Instagram, Twitter, and all that other good social sites. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
The more you learn about your